Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Long time no see. I know in my last video I said that I would post more regularly for you guys since my son is back in school, but that didn't end up happening because I was just sick on and off for a really long time, and I do work full-time as a nurse, so I was just getting really exhausted from my regular job and I just couldn't find the time to film anything. But I'm hoping for the year 2023, which I can't believe I'm saying that right now, but I'm hoping for 2023 I will start to post more regularly for you guys. So today's video will be all about my first Posh show, which I held on December 14th, and what I learned from it, what I wish Posh kind of did regarding the Posh shows, and just my overall experience. So as always, if you like reselling content like this, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. So if you didn't know, Posh shows are basically live auctions of auctioneer items. You have to be live on the app. Usually the duration is about an hour. You show your item, talk about it, and the people that are attending your show are able to bid on the item according to what your starting price is. I find that Posh shows really want people to start at a really low price so that it's like, hey, this is a really good deal, and then people will bet on the items at the spur of the moment. So like I said, I held my first show on December 14th. If you didn't know, prior to holding your first show, you have to attend some virtual meeting through Zoom. It was an hour in length, the presentation. Overall, the Zoom meeting was helpful in some ways, but I'm more of a hands-on person, so I have to try things out to be able to get used to it, and obviously you can't test it out prior to holding your first show. So during my show there was a lot of trying to navigate different things like showing items, also paying attention to the chat so that if people are saying any questions then you can answer them, all that kind of stuff. So the number one thing about holding a Posh show is obviously promoting it. From the Posh shows that I've seen just browsing through, hardly ever do they get more than 20 people. So, you're spending all this time and effort into preparing your items, getting set up. Usually it takes like a couple of hours in your day. Plus you have to spend that hour of holding your show. It is a lot of time, and it doesn't really guarantee you any sales. And obviously, like I said before, it really depends on your social following or how much you promote your Posh show, because that really depends on how many people are actually attending your show. Once again, I barely saw any shows that had more than 20 people unless people were doing a giveaway, if people were starting all their prices at like $5 or less, or they had a really big social following. For example, there's one YouTuber that is from the States, and I was looking at her Posh show. She had more than 200 people watching her show, and almost all of her items were getting sold. In addition, she was also starting all of her items really low. So, I don't really know how I feel about Posh shows yet, because like I said, it really emphasizes on your social following, and that really determines on how your success is, because if you only have about 20 people watching your show, they might not necessarily be looking at things to buy. A lot of people that were attending my show, they were just browsing, and I only made one sale, guys. I spent all this time preparing my setup, choosing my items for the show. You have to add all your items to the show and then spend the hour, or I guess I didn't really have to spend the whole hour if I wasn't making any sales, but I decided to just wing it for the whole hour, and I only made one sale, guys, and my profit on that item was very small. This was an item that I've had for a while, so I really just started it at my base price of $50, and somebody ended up buying it. It was an Aritzia, the brand Community. It was a down-filled parka. This jacket retailed for $300 to $400, so $50 was a great deal. And I'm glad that I was able to make at least one sale instead of, having my total hour wasted, plus the preparation time. If you haven't already explored Posh shows, you can pre-upload all of the items that you're going to sell, or on the whim you can add certain items and you don't have to add any pictures. You just quick list stuff and people can buy those items as well. A lot of people that were watching my show, they said that I was showing really good pieces. Like I was selling Lululemon for $20, Aritzia pieces for like $20, like really substantial pieces. I was showing a pair of Blundstones. Like, come on guys, these are items that do sell. My top selling categories for this year are Lululemon and Aritzia, but you know, people were either just wanting to watch or they weren't necessarily shopping. Even Christmas shopping, like people weren't really, they were just browsing for fun. I was showing Nuitag items, and some items I started at $10. Like I was checking all the boxes, if you were to put it in that way. The only thing was, I guess I didn't promote my Posh Show enough. I do plan on hosting another Posh Show in early January. I'm planning to do an athletic show. So a lot of like Lululemon, Zaya, Aloe, like all these activewear brands that I have in my closet. And we'll see how that one goes. I really wish I did more preparation for my show. Like 2 hours, like 1 to 2 hours before my actual show, I was kind of scrambling to get everything prepared. I had my clothing rack behind me, so I basically just hung all my items so that they would be displayed. And yeah, actually finding all the items was really time consuming. So I'm thinking of maybe doing one that I haven't actually listed my items yet, so that, you know, I don't have to look in my inventory, take them all out, and because the majority of items didn't sell, I had to put all those items back into my inventory system, which I have to scroll, look up at which bin they were from, and put them back, which is also more work. So I think I have to get a little bit more organized in that way so that I'm not wasting my time in getting all the items out and then having to put them back if they don't sell. So that's why I'm thinking next time I might just do quick list items and show items that I haven't listed yet in my closet. One thing that I wish Poshmark did regarding the live shows is that they kind of distinguish what solds are from live shows compared to what people are selling from their actual closet, because obviously the Posh Shows, they will have a lower ASP compared to people that are selling things from their closet, and that will really throw off people that are looking at comps, comparable prices, and solds, and you know, looking at things on what to source for. I also feel like Poshmark should limit the number of shows people hold, because some people, if they are really successful and they really like doing this, they could hold a show multiple times a day. They could hold a show multiple times in a week. And if other people are interested in holding a Posh Show, that really takes away the availability of when people can choose their time slots. At this point in time, I really feel like it was a waste of time for me. But like I said, I'm gonna try it one more time and see how that goes. I'm also really awkward on camera, if you haven't noticed based on my videos. I am trying to be more, you know, enthusiastic and show my real personality, but it really takes a lot of effort into, you know, being comfortable with talking to people on camera, let alone being live on camera. I also wanted to add, I don't know if you're capable of using another device to start an auction, but I had to show the item, pay attention to the chat, respond to any questions. I have to go on my phone while I'm like this close to the camera to actually find the item that I'm looking for to make it listed to be auctioned off. And you have to, you know, be entertaining, which is really hard to continue a conversation, especially if the chat is really silent and dead, then you can't really feed off of anything. There was also one point in time during my chat where it kind of froze and I thought nobody was saying anything at all until I started scrolling, and I guess my phone had paused the chat at one certain point and I missed like all of these comments and stuff. So there was that, and I don't know, like I held my show at, let's say, 10 p.m. Do you guys who have held a show, do you start like right at 10 o'clock? Because it's not like people are waiting for you to start your show. I feel like a lot of the time people are just browsing the app and say like, oh, this person's live, let me check out their show. So I was going to start like at 10:05, starting to show my item, and then somebody said, oh, like, why don't you wait a few minutes? I'm like, okay, like, I don't really know how this works. I don't know how long people usually wait to actually start showing their items. So I was just trying to, create conversation, see where people are from, to see what time zones people are, shopping from. And yeah, so I kind of started my show at like 10 after, 15 after, and just kept asking like if people have any requests, I can show those items first, which, some people did. So I showed those items first, and, from then on, I just went through my entire list. It's really hard because I don't know if I should just show the item and say like, hey, if nobody wants to bid on it, I'm not gonna run the auction. But then if the auction is running, some people might, randomly be like, oh yeah, I do want this, and then place a bid. So I found it really hard, but also I guess it was a good experience. Like I said, I'm gonna attempt it one other time and see if it's any smoother. I feel like it will be so much better if you had somebody with you to do the show. I was trying to ask my husband to kind of help me out on it, but he was just doing his own thing. So maybe next time he'll help me out. And I also am thinking of whether or not I should hang the item and then just flip the camera to say like, this is the item. So that way I don't have to hold the actual item and I can just focus on other things like, I don't know, like looking at the chat or preparing the next item. I don't know, we'll see. I think that's all that I have to say regarding my first experience. Have you guys tried it out yet? Do you plan on trying it out? If I were just to base my experience on my first Posh show, I would say it was a total failure. Because, if I were to add up all the hours that I spent preparing the items, how much I actually sold, I only made like less than minimum wage in the time that I spent. But at least I made a sale. Like, that was very, very exciting for me. And yeah, we will see how this goes after they're done the beta phase of Posh Shows, whether or not they'll continue doing them. I feel like they will, just because they really want to compete with Whatnot. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of Posh Shows, whether or not you've tried it already, if you plan on trying it, what was your experience, were you successful? I know that some other people have been really successful, and maybe mine was just, a one-off. As always, thanks again for watching. Merry Christmas for those who celebrate Christmas, and happy holidays for those who don't. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!